How about the best advice you've been given?
I think the best advice I gave was for people to come in without an agenda. And I don't mean like you guys had a plan, but we talked to all the probies and the cadets that are graduating, and we have different groups. And a lot of people come in if they've been mentored by a specific group. And I think one of the best advice I give is to come in with an open mind and treat people individually. Don't come in with we're Black, so we all have to be friends and stick together. Because you might miss out on somebody really great. So just really come in as your authentic self and take each individual person that you encounter as that person, because we can get very cliquish in the department, and you can get stuck in your station and never leave. Yeah. That's my probie house. And you end up limiting your opportunities and your experiences by doing that. So I think that was advice that I gave a young person just recently, and the look on their face was like, wow, I've never heard that, because they had been told, we need to stick together. And I said, that's cool. We do need to stick together, but we also need to open ourselves up to other people and other experiences, because otherwise you won't have everything that this job has to offer.
I remember one of my captains, when I was on probation, told me to keep a logbook of the calls that I went on and what I learned from each one of them. And I don't do it with every call, but I still have some of those that I keep, like ones that were particularly good learning experiences, and then just going back through the years and then just looking at those and reviewing them. That one's been pretty good. Yeah.
How about you? Really good advice you've been given, or advice that you have provided?
I have several advice that I've received. Some of them that stuck with me going through 2 academies was don't look at the entire staircase, just take it one step at a time. Another is get really good at amnesia. each day of academy is just day one of academy. And, just remembering that, your mind quits faster than your body does. So wherever the mind goes, the body follows. And just any advice, good or bad, is all good advice. So those are all of my little nuggets that I've kept.
That's good.
Right?
I like that.
Me too.
I think it's important to, especially on the beginning of your career, for creating that network of support. Yeah. Because there we see the craziest stuff, and it will start to weigh on you when you look back on your slideshow of calls that you've been on in your head. That really creating a space where you can be honest and open and call somebody when you hit a wall. And I think we've all worked with people who 30 years, and now they're at the end and they haven't prepared to retire. They haven't prepared for that next thing, because they haven't, like I said, this cult of fire family, they haven't prepared to be outside of it. Making sure that you have a good balance of outside activities to balance the inside is a big one too. Making sure you have a good support system, and making sure that you create that balance of activities that have nothing to do with fire, because it can be all-consuming. You end up wearing it, you end up living it, it's in your house, it's in the decor, it's in who you marry, it's in who you love, it's in who you have children with, right? Yes. I have 2 children with a captain. It's everywhere. And so creating that space away from it can be very hard, and it's your best friends end up being firefighters. So creating space away from it is really important for your mental health.
That actually ties into the best piece of advice that I got that took me years to take advantage of. Was before I got hired on, I met with a couple of women in the department who just gave me kind of just an intro to the culture, different tips for getting through the academy, through probation. But one of the things that they said is reach out to your support network. And it took me years to be able to do that. I'm just now kind of getting to that point and recognizing the value of that, because, as you were saying before, I'm very used to being in a space where I'm the only one that looks like me, and I'm very used to doing things alone. So I didn't truly value having that support network around me. And having that support network, having an outside eye, can really help with the microaggressions, because those will drive you crazy. where you're just sitting at home like, was that wrong? Am I too sensitive? I think that was wrong, but no, I just need to shake it off. But I think that was wrong. Just being able to bounce that off of somebody else, like, no, that was wrong. Like, okay, I can move on now. That person's just got something else they're dealing with. I can just worry about me.
Right.
Just little things like that, and just getting advice along the way. It's definitely figure out the people that you can trust. They're going to be there for you, and use them. I mean, we're all here for each other. So.
Can you repeat the one about amnesia?
Oh, to get really good at it. Each day is just a brand new day. So you always set your best foot forward day one. Every day is day one. Even for me now, post-academy, being on probation, I still do the same thing. Okay, coffee's good. I got this. I took the paper in, displayed it nicely on the dinner table, and okay, it's day one again. You know, until I go home.
So funny how it doesn't matter what department we all do the same.
It's
So funny. We're so institutionalized. The newspaper laid out, everything is the
Coffee
same.
is good. The dishwasher ran last night. Sometimes it doesn't run.
The flag.
Yeah,
put the flag up, put the flag down.
It's funny.
I'd like you all to address Gen Z specifically, and so I think we can recognize that they're facing very different challenges than a lot of previous generations, and they have a lot of pressure, you know, coming in from every angle, every direction. If you could speak to them directly and kind of provide some words of encouragement as far as pursuing this as a profession, what would you offer them?
Determination and grit go a long, long way. Just sticking with stuff. The job is going to be challenging, but it's so incredibly rewarding. It's worth it.
Just remembering that life is designed to throw curveballs, but it's what you do in navigating through different challenges that makes all the difference. So if you're considering going into the fire service, just know people are not going to give you attaboys all the time. Good job, you did great. It'll be more of, so do you want a gold star for doing your job? So you'll have to, you know, start to develop that mental grit of just knowing that even if they're hard on you, they care about you, and they really just want you to look both ways before you cross the street instead of just running across the street. That's all the advice is. There's no failing unless you allow yourself to fail, which is to stop trying. So if you just continue to get after it, even though the day didn't go as you planned, as long as you know that you kept going ahead and not focus too much on your mistakes in a way that disables you, I think that this job is absolutely for you. You just have to persevere and take note of your mistakes and just try again.
Find an organization that you feel you fit into, right? Because every organization, even though it's the fire service, has a different culture. What works for me might not work for you. For me at the time when I started in Oakland, that's the place I knew I wanted to work because of the people and the interactions. But that required me to spend time going to do station visits and meet some of the people and allow them to guide me. So I would say, spend some time identifying which family you want to belong to. They're all great, but there's definitely a time and a place for each. And I only say that because I never thought that I would ever leave Oakland. I thought that I would retire out of Oakland, but things change in your life. And so when I looked into Fremont, I spent quite a bit of time talking to the membership, reading about Fremont, because I wanted to make sure it was the right fit. We invest a lot of time in our recruitment process. We have people come do station visits. We do open houses. We spend a lot of time talking to folks because we want them to know that our organization is the right fit for them and vice versa. I think every organization wants that, but you have to do a little bit of investigations and figure out, is this the right fit for me?
I'd also say maintain perspective. While our job can be very challenging at times, overall we have it pretty good. It is an amazing job. There can be upwards and downward trends in the department that cause people to complain more about things. But we're complaining sitting in our firehouse while somebody is outside on this 100-degree day laying asphalt. So just maintain perspective over that, and just all the benefits and the positives that we do have, and focus on that.
I would add one more thing is really find a way to first know yourself well enough to just know what your own core beliefs are, and remembering your why. Because I feel that if you know you're deeply rooted into why you wanted to get into this career, there's no shaking you, no matter like during academy, they can't say anything to make you not want to come back. So like my why was I wanted to be able to learn as much information as I can to give back to my family and be able to talk to my friends. And really I have the love for my community. But that was my why. I wanted to make sure that anyone that I come across was always left feeling seen, believed, and heard. So regardless, it didn't matter if you're going to say, well, Tamara-Leah, you need to do 40 push-ups. Absolutely, I'll do those 40 push-ups. Anything else, because I still want this job, because I want to be the person that I needed when I was a kid growing up, you know, who needed help. Like we had struggles growing up. So my why is that I want to be able to provide that kind of help to any family that I run across.
We didn't get your best advice in terms of what you've been provided with or what you have provided.
I can tell you that for me is be courageous, right? And that in the fire service comes in multiple ways, right? Like be courageous that even if you're a probie and somebody is doing something that's not ethical, right? Or not treating a citizen the way you would want them treated, have the courage to say and do something about it. Be courageous when you're being told that you should stay as a firefighter for 10 years to make a decision that you know it's best for you, your family. Stay out of your comfort zone is what I was told. Don't go back to your station when I promoted to an engineer. Go out to another part of the city so that you can learn the city. I would say, and know yourself. Never forget where you came from. Be humble, because if you're not humble in this profession, you will be humbled, right? So I pride myself on just, knowing where I came from and being humble. And then also, I think with Generation Zers, they want to know the why. Why are we doing this, So for those of us who are looking to recruit this generation, you have to be prepared to explain to them why. The days of do it because I say so, those days are over. These are things that I've communicated to members right now. I have a recruit class of 18 with 5 women, and I have people as young as 22, upwards of 40 years old. So there's a large distribution of different generations within that academy. And the cadre find themselves sometimes frustrated because you're dealing with different generations, and it's not what we went through when we were coming into the fire service. So I'm constantly letting them know this is the new generation. You have to explain the why. So.